Again, Tim Cross, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. On this question of air supremacy, there's a difference between air superiority and air supremacy. What do the Russians enjoy at the moment?
Well, I'm not even sure they enjoy air superiority. Just for the benefit of the listeners, air superiority is something you gain over a particular patch of terrain, an area of the country, for a relatively limited time in order to do something decisive. That might be to take out an airfield or air defences or whatever. And you can have air superiority, for, as I say, for a limited time and then move it somewhere else. Air supremacy is when you dominate the airspace and you can do whatever you like, whenever you like, because your opponent doesn't have the capability of defending his airspace. I've been on various deployments around the world and always operated underneath air supremacy. And I can tell you, it's very reassuring. So I think Russia doesn't have it has air superiority, I suspect, in certain limited ways, but there's no doubt that it has been given a hard time by the Ukrainian air defences in the round, so air defence weapon systems, guided weapon systems, plus their own air capabilities.
Your particular area of expertise was logistics, and the importance of logistics to the way an army fights, you made very clear to us last week. The logistics situation for the Russians doesn't look great.
No, it doesn't. And if I'm honest, I still am uncertain as to why that is so. I'm genuinely very surprised. I mean, they obviously had a long period of exercises before the invasion, and it may well be they burnt up quite a lot of their logistics. But I think they went in, as we discussed, I think last week, they went in expecting a relatively quick and easy success in the east, particularly in the link up to Crimea, put Kiev under pressure, and then there would be some sort of resolution, some sort of agreement. That hasn't happened. Now, when you go into a country like this on a military operation, you take with you what's called your first line stocks. So it's your food, your ammunition and fuel, which for us, the British Army, is about 5 days or so. And then behind that, you have second line stocks carried by specific logistic capability. The first line stocks are held by your armoured vehicles, your armoured regiments and your armoured infantry regiments and so forth. The second line stocks are held by logistic vehicles. And it may well be that they didn't have those close enough up to the forward troops, and they've been unable to get them through. And we've seen this logjam of the convoy that was been sitting outside Kiev for quite a long time. So I think it's, I had been surprised they haven't been able to do it better, but it's quite clear from everything I'm picking up from a number of sources that their logistics has not been good. And in the air campaign, I think guided weapons, air weapons and so forth, A, are very expensive, and B, you get through them very quickly. I mean, it's worth just saying in terms of the context of the F-16 that it's not going to be the Ukrainians that will fly the F-16s. They are going to get from Poland old Russian-type aeroplanes, and the Polish ones will be replaced by the Americans with F-16s. And that's important because you can't, as a pilot, just climb into any aeroplane and fly it operationally. You have to be very familiar with it. And the technologies are very different. So those Ukrainian pilots will be, in theory anyway, and hopefully in practice, getting into aeroplanes they're familiar with, and they will be able to use them to good effect. If they simply climbed into an F-16, unless they've been trained in it, they wouldn't be able to fly it, operationally, as I say.